everyone, my name is Eileen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to give you a couple of tips for if you're going into high school and how to get good grades. So I have put on my Rory Gilmore sweater and we are going to talk about everything high school that I can remember. A little bit about me. I was a massive nerd in high school, and basically I got straight A's except for one class that I got a B in, which totally doesn't bother me at all anymore. I actually one time, don't tell anyone I said this, but I read all of the summer reading books for summer. Like, there was 3 different choices and you only had to read one. Actually, there was 4 choices and you only had to read one, and I read all 4 of them and I enjoyed it. That's the part that makes me a nerd. Like, I enjoyed reading the books. Please feel free to take tips from this video or make fun of me for thinking this hard into my academic life. But anyways, let's get on with the video. So for my first tip, it's kind of unfortunate, and it's that you actually have to study. And in middle school, it's kind of like not the same. Like, I feel like I could just get away with, oh, I studied like an hour last night and I'm good to go. But for high school, it's not fun. I mean, sometimes it can be fun if you're like enjoying the subject, but a lot of times it just feels like hard, boring work, and you kind of just have to like lean into that, get used to that. That is basically the only way to get good grades, unless you already happen to know the information, in which case, good for you. That was not me. One of my biggest tips to getting good grades overall is never ever skip an assignment. If it's for a grade, do it. Even if you don't do it correctly, like, at least turn it in and do it on time. Even if you get a bad grade on the test or quiz, if you have all of your assignments done, you then at least have some wiggle room to talk to your teacher and kind of be like, hey, I have all of my work done, like, how about I take another shot at the test or something like that. It will always be helpful and it will always help average a grade. A big overall tip I have is for you to pick where your energy goes. So in high school, you have a lot of different classes, a lot of different like social functions, and you're really gonna have to prioritize where your time goes. Even between classes, for me, I had physics, which was like the bane of my existence and really hard for me, versus like AP Lit, which was technically a higher class for me, but like to me, English came easier. So I prioritized my time to go towards physics mostly because it was harder for me. Like, knowing that and like even prioritizing that in your to-do lists every day is very helpful. Let's talk about one of my favorite things ever, which is organization. Let's start with digital notes. I got an iPad in my like sophomore year and it was very, very helpful to me. Now, I know that not every teacher is going to be accepting of this because it is like a digital device, but a lot of them were chill because like, you're in high school now, like, you're not a middle schooler. Okay, maybe freshman year they might have been like, what are you doing? But like, I feel like sophomore year and on, my teachers did not care. And this iPad was very helpful for me in math because you can have endless paper to work out your problems. If you were a person like me who would like be taking paper notes and it would just get really messy, the iPad saved my life. It was very helpful for me in physics, in AP Calc, in pre-calc. Also, as you get older in your high school career, you lose more and more motivation, and so like typing out your notes on a laptop might not be always the best way to retain information, but at least you're doing notes that way. Look into some digital organization because it can help you be more organized, it can help you save trees, and it was very helpful to me. Along with that, you have more access to your phone in high school, so put stuff in your reminders, put stuff in your calendar, use your phone because you will be using your phone a lot when you're not thinking about school, and then school will just magically pop up and you'll be like, oh yeah, I do have that 20-page paper due. Let me get on that. It's helpful, especially for little things. Like, you might be like, oh, I'll remember to sign that permission slip form, and then it's the day of and you're like, I'm going to have to call my mom to come like sign this permission slip at the school. Or you could put it in your notes app or your reminders and it would be like, hey, don't forget to have your mom sign that permission slip, and then she will. I will say, if you are a particularly messy person, let's say maybe your room isn't always clean, maybe your backpack's always a mess, that's totally not me I'm describing at all. No, it's definitely me. I am a mess. One of the things that I've been doing recently that I wish I could have done in high school is I made a notes app in my phone, and it basically says like, school. It lists out everything I need to bring to school with me. And then when I'm about to leave for the day, I'll check it and I'll be like, okay, do I have my keys? Do I have my umbrella? This. And it's just like one more step for me to be like, hey, don't forget something that could ruin your day. Like, if you forget your headphones in school, it's just like, oh, now I'm just walking around in a sea of like loud people who are like making your mom jokes at me, and it's like, ugh. So make a list and check the list every day so you don't forget things, especially if you are a mess. This next tip isn't necessarily directly about like your grades, but it is something that I wish I could have done better in high school, and that is join clubs your freshman year. I know you might be thinking like, I don't know what I'm into, I don't like want to deal with that. Like, that's exactly what I was thinking. Please join them your freshman year and stay with them all 4 years. It will look really good on your college application, and then you have more of an opportunity to get into a leadership position. For some reason, my entire high school like career started in sophomore year. I just didn't join any clubs in freshman year, and I have no idea why, but don't make that mistake. Join some clubs, and you might even make some friends through them, which is very good. And leads on to my next tip, which is find some responsible friends. They don't have to be your best friend or anything, but finding at least someone in your class, in each class, that is responsible and on top of their work is really helpful, because like even when you're just chatting casually like, hey, did you know that we have that quiz due tomorrow? Like, how are you doing studying for that? And then you're kind of like, oh, I definitely forgot about that quiz, but I'm gonna pretend like I didn't because you seem like you know what you're doing. And it's just kind of like a mutually beneficial relationship. And of course, like the people you hang out with are going to influence what you do. And I'm not saying like you have to be a nerd, shut in, doing homework all the time, but if you and your friends have doing schoolwork in common, it's gonna be more of like a central part of your life. But I will say, be careful, because then you might form like a lifelong bond with that person, and then you guys might go to the same university and like live in the same building together, and then like you can't ever escape them. Yes, Lydia, I'm talking about you. Anyways, I will also say, please make sure to have a hobby that is not school and not your grades, just something for you. It can be really easy to just have your entire personality be your schoolwork, and life is not always about that. Please have hobbies. Have any hobby. Have a hobby you're bad at, even if those hobbies are really, really cringy, like being obsessed with emo bands, or like, you know, reading fan fiction, writing fan fiction. Like, these are totally things that I did not do. Like, you are not an adult. You do not have to have your entire career be your life. Even when you are an adult, you don't have to have your entire career be your life. Also, when you are actually studying, sometimes it is hard to actually study. So I would recommend romanticizing your studying. Sorry, I don't know why I sang that, but in case you wanted that as a song, other than like scrolling on Pinterest for hours, I would take time lapses a lot, which helped me like go back and look at how satisfying me doing my work was. And I didn't like even post them anywhere. Sometimes I just like showed them to my friends. For the most part, I just looked at them for myself because I thought they were cool. And just like romanticizing academia and like a love of learning is very, very helpful. And sometimes you just need to romanticize it, or it's not gonna work for you. When you are actually studying, always just review a little bit right before you go to bed, because when you sleep, it actually helps you like remember things better. So if you study right before you go to bed, you're definitely gonna remember that. Or sometimes what I would do, which is also helpful because I love naps, I would take naps while I was studying, like just short naps, don't let it be a long nap. It helped my brain work. Like, it's scientifically proven. I'm explaining it terribly, but like when you sleep, it makes you remember things. So if you do it like right before you sleep, it's very good. Another thing I will mention is for your environment where you're studying, make sure you have a good environment. Sometimes you might need to even switch it up if you're getting like really bored or like beaten down while you're studying, and it might be helpful to like go study in your living room or like at your kitchen table. There is something about sitting at a kitchen table that is just different. Like, it makes you want to do work because it is so uncomfortable and you are like in the middle of your entire family. Or have your desk decorated really nicely for you. Like, I used to have all of these pictures like right in front of my desk, that way I could just look up and be like, oh, a little bit of inspiration. How helpful. Thank you, decorator, interior designer Eileen. Changing up your environment does help you learn better and retain information better. Even studying on your bed, I know it's controversial because like it's really easy to fall asleep, you feel kind of lazy, but like even if you convince yourself, okay, just 5 minutes of studying on my bed is better than no studying at all, that is true. And, you know, maybe eventually once you're done with the bed, you can like hop over to your desk or something. Look, I crammed a lot of essays in my bed, not gonna lie, and I didn't fall asleep except for that one time, so That was good. My last tip for you is sort of a more philosophical one, and that is know why you're doing this. Please be honest with yourself about why you're getting good grades. Is it so that you have the option to go to any university you want? Is it for some very specific university? Just try to like think about it a little, maybe like make a couple goals, manifest some things. For me, I basically didn't know what I wanted to do in high school, so getting good grades was like my ticket to giving myself every chance I could possibly have, and also trying to get some scholarship money. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good day and a good academic year and just regular year. And let me know if you have any questions or comments that I can answer. Have a good day. Bye!